All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Tuesday Talks. I am so glad to see you all. I am Jessica Rosenblatt. I am the Executive Director of the Ohio Arts Professionals Network. For those of you who are new, this Tuesday Talk series is a free virtual learning series that we host throughout the year. We try to put on one a month. This month we have two. These sessions are typically held on Tuesdays and at noon. They are open to both OAPN members and non-members. And this is one of the ways that we are really working to educate, connect, and strengthen our performing arts communities by bringing together presenters, agents, artists, and art leaders from across Ohio and far beyond to share knowledge and learn from one another. But before we dive into today's program, I'd like to take a moment to thank our 2026 annual sponsors who are brand new supporters of OAPN this year. Their involvement is thanks in large to the work by our leadership team and the development committee, and we're very grateful for their support. Our platinum sponsor is Lemon Grenade Creative. Our diamond sponsors are the Ohio Contemporary Ballet, Wellhouse Hotels Tapestry Collection by Hilton, and the Courtyard Marriott. And our gold sponsor is Bill Blagg, Magic and Illusion. Thank you all to our sponsors for investing in the work that we're doing and in our statewide arts community. For more, visit oapn.org. All right, thanks for making it through my little commercial there. We're going to move on to today's session, and I'm so excited to welcome Craig here. He is going to present a session to you on how to submit a strong showcase application. Now, I know a lot of you folks might be coming in from different levels. Maybe you've already submitted to showcase. Maybe you're a pro in this world. Maybe you don't even know what a showcase is or what I Want to Showcase platform is either. So whether you're planning to submit a showcase application for the first time or you want to strengthen one that you've done before, today's conversation will walk you through what makes a strong juried showcase submission. Craig will share practical guidance, common pitfalls to avoid, and insider tips when using the I Want to Showcase platform to clearly communicate your work and stand out to jurors. Craig, I'm going to give a little bio blurb about you. Craig has a very large bio, but we've condensed it a little bit. But he is the founder of Knudsen Productions. I should
Knudsen, not
Knudsen,
Knudsen.
yes,
Yeah, got to
production.
get the K in there. Knudsen.
Knudsen.
It's
I
like a
should have
sneeze.
asked you before I said that. He's a nationally recognized talent agency representing exceptional vocal ensembles from the U.S. and abroad. He's a graduate of the Oberlin Conservatory of Music. Way to go, Ohio. And brings decades of experience as a performer, composer, arranger, and music director. Craig toured for 18 years with the EDLOS, an a cappella quartet. Spent 11 years as a music director for Kaiser Permanente Educational Theater Project. And in 2014 was honored with the Arts Northwest Coyote Award for his leadership and lasting contributions to the live performing arts field. We're thrilled to have you with us today, Craig. I'm going to turn this over to you to do what you do best.
All right. Well, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for taking your time to come and listen to me talk. Uh, Jessica thought that I'd be a good person to do this webinar. I think she based it on my track record of securing juried showcases for my artists. So I'm going to trust her judgment and give this a whirl. I do have just to establish my jury showcase street cred. Um, I've had over the years probably dozens secured dozens of jury showcases for my various artists. We've had showcases at WA, at Arts Northwest, at OAPN, Arts Midwest, MPAC, PAE when it existed, and Arts Market in North Carolina. And I attribute the success of these of getting these showcases obviously to the artists, to their talents, and but also I think the knowing what to do on the applications definitely played a part in that. So in 2015, I was asked to be on the selection committee for the showcases, jury showcases at Arts Midwest, and it was quite a journey, and I learned so much from that experience of being on the inside and seeing how the selection and choosing jury showcase artists works. And that year, we actually reviewed, I think it was 190 submissions. So it was quite extensive, and we did that in person. We did some advanced work where we reviewed materials in advance of meeting in person, and then they flew us all out to Minneapolis, where we spent, it was 3 or 4 days of long days, 8-hour days, going through all of these reviewing all of the videos and all of the materials, and yeah, it was quite something and a real eye opener. Um, so the one my biggest takeaway from that was that the video is absolutely the most important element of the showcase submission. The way they did it at Arts Midwest, it was weighted. You gave sort of numeric scores to the different elements, to the press kit and the bio and the different elements. But the video was weighted very heavily. I think it was 50% of the application. Um, so I'm going to start by talking about how to structure the video. It could be, being that it is actually the most important part of the application. Um, First and foremost, you want to have live performance footage on the video. It differs from a promotional video in that you really want it to be a live performance. So because that's what presenters would like to see. They would like to see what the group is live. It doesn't do them any good to know how well you sound on a recording. They want to see what you are like live. So that's a very important part of it. And also, you it, it the showcase video is different from a promotional video in that, at least in the case of Arts Midwest, the there's no guarantee that people are going to see the whole 3-minute video if it's a 3-minute video. They're not necessarily going to see that. The way it was done at Arts Midwest is that they started the video playing, and I think there were 8 or 9 of us on the committee. And then we watched, and then when you felt like you had seen enough, you raised your hand, and then once there were 3 people who had raised their hand, the video was stopped. So, it might be 90 seconds into the video, and so you want to make sure that you have the all of the elements that you want for people to see and to judge you on. You want those elements to be as close to the front of the video as possible, so that it grabs people's attention. They want to watch the video to the very end, and so where you would normally have big finale at the end, maybe that big finale happens, or at least elements of it are shown early on in the video. And also, things like if you're a band, let's say, and you have this incredible guitar player, you want to make sure that solo, that killer solo is up towards the front, so people know right away that that's an element of the band. So just have that. Um, Another important element, I think, is to, as much as possible, get let people see the variety of your ensemble, or you as an individual even. Uh, Again, up front, and also, as part of the video, I would say, I think different elements should be the sweet spot, I think, is at 20 seconds to 40 seconds for a single um, snippet from a video. Probably sometimes less, 15 might be fine. You just want to show, yeah, we play there's a flute player in the group. So that if you see that in 15 seconds, fine. You've let people know that they can see that they're good. Another one, you might want a little bit more to show the entirety of a section of it. But really you want to, have variety in there, because that's what people want to know. Because if you could just have one long 2-minute piece and long for a video submission, but then people don't get a sense of the breadth of what you do. So you want to make sure to have that. So that's where an editor is a very good thing to have. A second set of eyes on on the video that you have put together, I think is very important. I always get in there and advise my artists. They will actually create the uh, the video for submission, but and either well they can. Sometimes they'll give me the raw footage, and I will actually select the snippets and actually tell them what order I think they should be in. So I sometimes I'm more hands-on that way. Other times they will put it together and then I'll go through it and make my strong suggestions as to, what should be changed. So if you aren't working through an agent or you're working with somebody who may not want to do that, then I still think just getting a second set of eyes on something and somebody who knows your work and knows what should be featured, I think it's a very good thing to do to get that, just and really, keeping in mind that you want this video to show as much as possible. And again, it should be. I'll say again, it should be live performance. What you don't want is, thinking that, well, we're live, but we're lip syncing and it looks really good and nobody will know, but people do know. And so, stay away from that because when I see something like that, I see a group lip syncing on a juried showcase submission, and I immediately think, well, they're trying to hide something. They're trying to hide the fact that um, that maybe they don't sing in tune, or something like that. I had a one time I had a group that I had just started representing, and they gave me their material, and they were a vocal ensemble and just a great group, and they sent me their recorded stuff, and it was auto-tuned to death. I mean, it was just so obvious that it was like it was very, very, very in tune, I had to say. But and then I immediately thought that they were hiding something, and honestly, they were a group from England, and I hadn't heard them in live performance. So then they came and did a showcase at ACDA, or a performance at ACDA, the Choral Directors Conference, and I went and saw them, and they were incredible. And their intonation was spot on. And I just said, why did you do that in the studio? And oh, because it was available and it was easier, and we just thought it would sound good. Everybody's doing it. And I said, no, no, don't do that. And with that group, I actually had one presenter who, um, I sent him the demo that they'd given me that was with all the auto tuning, and he said, a presenter said, I can't even consider this group because I have no idea what they really sound like. So, all that is to say, definitely have the live footage, even if there's a little glitch on it or something. Better that than having it, sort of canned music. So I'm going to I'm going to read you a few of my comments when I was on the panel at Arts Midwest. I'm just going to read you these. We were t told to review the video, the initial review of the video, and then write down one or two sentences. So I have a there's obviously about 190 of these, but I'll just read a few so you can get a sense of, what somebody is, just a, initial impression. So my first one was I wrote, too much talking describing the singer at the beginning of the video. A little talking would have been okay, but for consideration for a showcase slot, we really need to see as much of the performance as possible. Then, similar comment on the next one. Too much talking, telling us about, and name redacted, at the beginning of the video sample. It would have been better to have more performance samples and less talking. Also, a lot of talking was about recordings and not about live performance. The next one, the video sample was not a video. It was an audio sample with a picture. The singing was very good, but the picture gave me no idea what this performer was like as a live performer. And next one, very cool sound. I really would have liked to have additional musical selections to show me that there is a variety to a full-length show. Without this, I can't help but to worry that there could be some monotony to the performance. And again, I just didn't know. Uh, Next one, video samples were very good. They showed me the breadth and variety of the repertoire played by the ensemble. The group's technical prowess was well illustrated, very enjoyable. So there's a positive one. Um, yeah, this is for a solo theater performer. Last one, very moving performance. This is the kind of performance that should be made available for family programming. Excellent. Uh, so, that just gives you a sense of, what the kinds of things that hit you. You start seeing things, especially when you're reviewing so many applications, you start seeing things over and over again, and you realize, what's strong and what's not. Um, Oh yeah, the other another element that is very important in the video is interaction with the audience. Have some amount of reaction. I'm not saying it has to be audience participation, but some sort of reaction from the audience included. It might be applause, it might be a hooping and hollering it right in the middle of something. It could be audience participation if that's what you do. Um, so I would definitely, if you have the footage that can include that is a very positive thing and very, again, very helpful to the general perception of the performance because presenters really do want that. They want the artists nowadays to really connect with the audience and not just sort of be up there and have that fourth wall in place. So definitely if you can have that, do include it. But one thing that I might advise against, at least, and again, this is subjective, so, but what we saw at Arts Midwest was people including uh, testimonials as part of the video. The audience members afterwards, and there were a lot of these, and they just became it 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 almost became like a parody of that kind of a thing because it was just one after another of these pieces of the video where somebody was saying, "Oh my God, if there is one show that someone should see in the time that they're here on Earth, it's this show. The unbridled joy that I experienced watching this performance is unparalleled." And there was a lot of things just like that. And it so it kind of weakened it and it took away from time that somebody could have had a little more performance and or a different kind of audience reaction. So, if you really want to include something like that, go for it. But I it like I said, it almost detracted from them after a while, just because there were so many of those. So, um, yeah. I was going to do a Q&A at the end, but I actually, if people have any questions now about, since I've been just talking about specifically about the video, please feel free to ask me anything. If you
Yeah.
don't, yeah.
Hi, I just put
Hi.
it in the
Oh,
chat.
okay.
I'm a
Oh,
historical character actor, and I thought it was great advice. What I heard seemed to mostly pertain to musical acts. So, do you
yeah.
have any specific other advice for those of us who are doing a theatrical performance?
Yeah, I'm sorry to be leaning. It's sort of my world is the music part of things, but yeah, for a theater piece, I would say um, it there's less of a need to do bits and pieces, and actually for a theater piece, um, I would say probably uh, two two pieces, so we can see some sort of arc in it would be fine. And I think, even one piece, 3 minutes long, again, if it's a piece that can have some amount of arc and maybe variety in it, that would be great. But yeah, and thank you for asking that question. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
For music, how long should the video be? And do you want like a montage of like several performances or like how should that be?
Yeah, so usually the videos, it seems like the standard on the videos is 3 minutes. So you know that you have to fill up a 3 minute video. And so yeah, it should be a like a montage of different elements. So if you play, you know, if you have an up-tempo song that features one person on vocals, you start with that, maybe 20 seconds, like I said in the beginning, maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds long, just to give an impression. And then maybe you have another song that's a wonderful ballad and has three backup singers. So then you might do 20 seconds of that, just make it work editing wise. And then any other elements that you want to show. And this it really depends on what you have. It can be from different performances. It could all be from the same performance if that's, if you happen to have the multi-camera shoot and that was very expensive and you don't have any other footage, then no, absolutely, it's fine to do it from a single, different snippets from a single performance. And I've actually done that with groups that I've worked with, where they've yeah, specifically gotten the footage for the video like this. So
Now, I'll just add
yeah.
too, on top of all of this great info, Craig. Uh, Now, I've never served on the jury, but of course, I work hand in hand with the OAPN jury, so I get to see a lot of the comments and a lot of the videos that are submitted along with the entire I Want to Showcase materials. And I feel like a huge thing that goes in part with this live performance. First off, like Craig said, they want to hear what do you really sound like? But I think it's also, and Craig, correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
looking at your stage setup, are you a professional artist performing, in a venue space, or I don't know if you've ever taken points off for like bar performances, but I think sometimes our jurors, along with the marketing materials, they want to make sure that if you're selected for a juried showcase, that presenter can book you, use the promo video, use your high quality headshot or band photo, and basically promote you as this artist performing on their stage. But Craig, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys have any input on where the performance is, or the setup on the stage?
Any input you mean in terms of the
Yeah, like
video?
how you acted as a juror. Do
Oh,
you do would you mark down points if it was a bar performance, or do you look to see sort of a bigger theater performance and rank that higher?
yeah, definitely a performance in a performing arts center with, seeing somebody on stage in that situation is definitely preferable. And it does, it just gives a different impression, and it tells you that this artist is they do this in that space. Um, that said, again, if it depends on what video footage you have, for a theater artist, if it's in a black box and not necessarily a big stage, that's fine. It's a different type of performance, and we really want to see the artistry. We want to see the acting. Also for a dance company, it can be, it might be in a rehearsal space. Again, ideally on stage, and filling that stage, and with good lighting, because lighting is such a key component to so many things. But yeah, it's more the impression, and so. I would. I mean, if an artist, if they're incredible and they happen to be in a bar setting, well, maybe you can look beyond that. But and maybe you can address that in the other materials in the application where you list where you've performed. Then, well, so that's where the supporting materials come into play. You know, if let's say you have a band is playing in a bar, but then in their credits it shows that they've played at this and that performing arts center. Well, then that sort of mitigates that. Uh, so yeah.
Great. Caitlin, did that answer your question for the dance showcase submission?
Yes, that did. Thank you so much, Craig.
Oh, okay.
Great. You might have accidentally covered that without seeing that comment. Another
Yeah, I
one
didn't
more
see it
question.
coming.
One more question for you. What if an artist has showcased at another conference like Arts Market or OAPN or any of the other ones, and they have a high quality video? Would you recommend them slicing that up and submitting as a submission video for another conference?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you've gotten good video footage from it, and the 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 conference is okay with that, and I don't see why they wouldn't be. No, I think that's fine. Um, I hope it's fine because I actually did that with Collision of Rhythm. So they got the hour-long showcase at the iPay conference, the Performing Arts for Youth, and it was exactly that situation where they had a great video of it was single camera, but it was still good footage of that performance, and so I did use that. I created a good portion of the current sort of promo video, and also the one we'll submit for showcases out of that performance. So the short answer, yes, it's fine.
We
Any other questions about the videos?
I have
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about, you mentioned the testimonials getting kind of a little crazy.
Uh,
Do you recommend avoiding those entirely in this kind of application, or is it just kind of like be tasteful with it and don't kind of have like a million sprinkled through?
um, I'm not going to say avoid it entirely. I was just giving my sort of accounting of what it was like when we did it. So no, if there's um, yeah, I would say, it's just you don't want it like, you have a little 20-minute, 20-second segment, and then there's somebody saying it was incredible, blah, blah, blah. And then you have 10 seconds, and somebody else goes, oh, it was amazing, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So maybe one, maybe just be judicious if you're going to use that. And I guess ideally have it be something that instead of just saying, they're world class, everybody should see them, maybe something that is more specific to to what they saw. It really moved me, something like that. Or I feel like, what they're saying and their message is very important right now. It's just something, something more than just you know, a big shout out. Okay.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Okay. So, okay, I'm running my notes. So one other thing in the video that I feel is important is the video should reflect the people, the personnel who are going to actually be showcasing. So, don't have a group of five people and then have four different ones in the showcase. And also the size of the band. Don't have a video featuring seven, full seven-piece band, and then have say, but for this, showcase, we're just going to have two people come. So if that's the case, you should submit a video with two people, and then in your notes and description say that it can go up to a seven-piece band or something like that. But don't yeah, be careful because as soon as you see that's gonna, again, people are gonna say, well, I don't know if they're I want to see the two people. I don't want to just trust that two people is going to be fine. Again, for I think I would say it's a little different situation for a dance company or even for a theater company, uh, because perhaps um, obviously there are pieces where you can't send the 20 dancers that you have on your video. So uh, I think it's there's more leeway for that, and for theater as well. If you have three actors and you're going to have two, there's a little more leeway for that. So um, and then just I'm going to look at the different elements, the different things that are asked for in the I want to showcase applications and also other applications. Obviously, the educational outreach is a big component of the application nowadays. It's more and more, it's very important to presenters to have educational outreach, both for their missions with what they do, but also because so much additional funding is connected to educational outreach and requires educational outreach. So, if you do offer that, definitely um, in the application, go beyond saying, yes, we offer educational outreach and we love it. Go into more detail. I have an example here. This is from an application from a group that I represented a while back, and the outreach description reads, "Exposing all students to the arts is challenging." Can I say the name of the group? Sure. Six Appeal has developed a fun and engaging short format all school assembly program to educate students about the basics of a cappella singing. A typical lyceum is 35 to 60 minutes and can be adapted for any age group, K-12, and will be selected from the following elements. What is a cappella? A brief discussion of the meaning, origin, practice of a cappella music as a whole, the history of a cappella, exploring a cappella development from medieval to current, build a song, dissecting a Six Appeal song in real time, highlighting all the different parts, beatbox, breakdown, and then an introduction to the basic elements of vocal percussion. So, you can see it just, it shows that they do this, and they offer it, and the the more detailed you can be in all of this, the better. I would say, you are given when they say, yeah, Jessica, yeah,
Oh,
did
I don't
you?
want to cut you off. You
Oh,
can finish that statement. I'll just hop on
Yeah,
right
sure.
after you.
Yeah, I just going to say if they say you have 250 words, use 250 words. To get to say what you want to say. I mean, you can use 245 if you want, but and the same. Yeah, it's just in all of it, sort of in general, is to give as much information as you can. So yeah, Jessica.
Yeah, all I was going to add to that was a lot of times too for OAPN, we take and we'll be more clear and specific in our wording, moving forward. But a lot of times we take the bios directly from the I Want to Showcase application as well as any educational. So I know a lot of our like so don't just like type it as you go. Make sure you're copy pasting, make sure it sounds and reads okay. We usually give artists and agents a chance to review anything before it goes into the book, but we personally pull from that because our presenters, especially, utilize and take advantage of grant funding. So
Hmm.
in Ohio, we are able, we've got a great relationship with the Ohio Arts Council, and they offer a lot of great opportunities for these artists, for Ohio Artists on Tour, and they can partner it with an educational component, and then the venues can receive up to a third, I believe it still is, of that artist fee if
No.
they come in for a show and do an educational performance. Again, the artist does have to be from Ohio for that. But yeah, so just keep that in mind when you are submitting. Just make sure you check your spelling, typos, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Um, Let me see. Oh, tech riders. Um, I'm assuming everybody has a tech rider. If that, so again, it's the same sort of theme over and over. That tech riders you would want them to be as detailed as possible. And again, tech rider for a showcase application should reflect the lineup of the group that will be performing. And it should, you really want to have list all of the back line, list all of the, DIs and have a good stage plot. Again, you just want to show people that you are on top of this, that you understand this, and that when you show up, you'll know what you're doing. So, and the tech riders can be a very good indication of, how prepared you are for something like that, So. Yes, just don't have the tech writer that says, "Well, we need a bunch of mics and maybe a monitor. That'd be cool." Don't do that. Just again, have it have it be, and you want the graphics to be okay. You just want everything to be clear. Um, and I would say the same holds true for if you have if you're asked for a press kit, an electronic press kit or just a standard, one sheet or two sheet, um, definitely we want to see that looking good. We want to see good graphics. And if you're given sometimes they don't ask for that in an application, but they do have they say if there's anything else you'd like to upload, please feel free to use, to do that. So if you're given that opportunity, um, and you have other materials that weren't specifically asked for in the application, upload those. That can be very helpful. And again, it allows the adjudicators to see more stuff. So if you have a wonderful, you might have a study guide for educational outreach. So if given the opportunity, yeah, let people see that you have that. If you have a great electronic press kit with a lot of information, feel free to upload that. I mean, it strengthens. Just and anything, the more you can provide, the better. And again, because, again, the video is sort of what gets you to a certain point. But then in the other materials sort of act as support materials for the video. So if the video gets you to this level and there's 30 other submissions that are at this level, um, then we start looking at all of the other elements of the application, and that can take it to this level, and somebody might stay here, so you want to be here, right there. Um, the same holds true for uh, the touring history. Um, and upcoming engagements, that sort of thing. If again, be as complete as possible. Let us know don't assume that people know what the venues are. Maybe you want to put just a description of it. If it's a 1,500 seat venue, um, they want to see that. You might as well mention it. You know, and so include that. And for people who don't have the touring history, maybe it's a newer ensemble, um, or a newer individual artist, and you don't have the touring history for that specific thing. Well, then write a narrative in that to explain why you are prepared to tour. And maybe it's because you toured for 10 years with another group, or another theater company, or another dance ensemble. And so you can say, well, yes, I don't have the history for this particular group, but I myself and also the other members of the group have this history and experience, and they do understand touring. Or if you have a manager who's going to coordinate all of the um, all of the parts of advancing a performance, then let people know that. They just want to, again, people want to see that what you're doing. Um, so let's see, what have I missed?
Craig, can I ask you? I don't know that you've missed this. This is
Yeah.
another question that came in on a private chat. Uh,
Okay.
and maybe Ed, this is where you come in too, to discuss backline. I know backline changes for conferences, and I'm happy to talk about OEPNs, but um, the question would be, I don't know what the question is for this one, so feel free to speak up for the person that messaged, but can you explain what the backline usually looks like, or how you know it's going to be offered at a venue or at a conference?
Yeah, well, you don't know that it's going to be offered at a conference. And so it's um you a lot of conferences they'll let what is going to be provided. And there's a dialogue that goes on between the tech at a conference and the arts. So what is available might influence what pieces that you do as part of the showcase, because sometimes you have different options. But if it's like, for some reason, upright basses are just always can be problematic. And so, you know, uh, I've had to, for a few different conferences, I've had to coordinate renting it, and the artist pays for the rental, but the tech person says, yeah, I know so and so in town, and you can get me a good deal. So sometimes you're responsible for some of the elements. Sometimes you can, you know, sweet talk people, and they say, I guess I could get it. So it's a conversation. So Ed, did you want to chime in on this, since you're
Sure,
an
yeah. Yeah,
artist who
I
deals
haven't been
that?
saying too much. I'm with for those who didn't catch it in the introduction, I'm with the Drina Harvey Band, and full disclosure, we're on Craig's roster. We've done about a dozen showcases, juried showcases in the last 10 years across Canada and the US. And yeah, specifically to tech writers. So we have a five-piece Celtic rock band. We have a drum kit. We have for some venues we'll use a grand piano, but we make sure that the presenter knows not to exclude us because we don't have a piano in the venue or something. We actually have I think we have three different tech writers that we can provide a venue to, like, based on what they can provide. So if it's a small, and we've toured in some remote places. We've done some, yeah, some bigger places, but in those remote places, right? There's kind of as Craig said, there's a back and forth between the tech personnel and your band or your tech person. But I suppose in a showcase application, as it pertains to what we're talking about, it would be important if you're a dance company and you have X, Y, and Z for your tech writer at the showcase. Craig, I'll throw it back to you. Would it be important to somehow communicate to the presenters that yes, we do this show that requires X, Y, and Z, but we also, for a venue that maybe doesn't have all those bells and whistles, we can do a show that as long as we have Y and Z. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
Small
yeah, it
scale
does.
down thing. We say that to presenters. We've done shows without a drum kit. We have in the past, right? And so
Yeah, you might be doing
should be
another one.
flexible.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no. So I would say yes. Especially if you have a tech writer that's specifically geared towards conferences, I would say, yeah, if you're able to do that, make say this is ideally what we would want, but we are able to to compromise on some things, and even say that just so let's not. Uh, just please don't count us out just because of where you think that we have to have this or we can't do it. So yeah, I think to address that in the tech writer um, would be yeah, I think that would be fine and beneficial. Um, you just want them to know it's to a point because they don't need anything. Oh, they can just get up there and do it. So
of
yeah.
course, yeah. If you offer it as it's option A or option B, it's more our fallback option to do something that's scaled down. But yeah, certainly having as I say, we have multiple tech writers. In all honesty, we typically are just using these different writers as we get to the point of actually booking the show and talking with the tech team there. But yeah, doesn't hurt to say it, communicate it in the showcase somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll toss in here too, specifically for OAPNs. Obviously, they want to see the legit tech writer, right? Like with Drina Harvey Band, like you guys are a big sound. You might require a lot of things, and I don't know that it's always necessarily for these showcases. I do think that, especially when presenters come to these, they always understand that although you're producing a professional venue, depending on which conference you're at, there's always a couple things that are going to lack. So OAPN, we will put in our I Want to Showcase submission a blurb about what backline is offered. We do offer a basic backline package, which is just very typical and normal. You're going to get, the keyboards, a drum set, but usually the artists are going to come in and provide their own guitars or electric guitars or upright bass. I did want to call on Nikki because Nikki was a 2024 showcasing artist, and you
Yes,
had what, 5, 7, 8 people? You had a huge
7.
crew. You had the cool guitar. I don't even know what it is, but it's cool. Can you give
Yeah,
a little explanation about so folks know what the process is once you're selected, because you're going to work
yeah.
with that team's production manager. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like our music director Tamika, she's the one that with the tech, right? And because it was 7 of us, and out of 7 of us, 5 musicians, and so we had to be very detailed because 5 of us musicians, and then 3 of us sing and play. A lot of times you have musicians that they just play, so we had to be very detailed. But the one thing that I can say with OAPN, that they were very open and honest and detailed in the beginning, so we knew what we had to bring or didn't have to bring. And so, but we wanted to make sure it's never, you can never over communicate. It's like, okay, I know you said that there will be drums, just making sure, the hardware, just everything. So, we just try to make sure and then not be too much back and forth, but, okay, this is what we have, this is what we're bringing, and will that be okay?
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
great. Thank you, Nikki. Heather, I
Thank
want to get
you.
to you. But really quick, Caitlin, and this is for you, Craig.
Yeah.
Do you have any good practices for dance tech riders for a performance that can be presented in diverse venue spaces, theaters, and community spaces? For community spaces, this group offers a plug and play option where they provide lighting and sound. Is it important to include this in the tech rider, or should it be geared towards professional theater venues?
Oh gosh.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. And so I don't work with a lot. I've only worked with one dance company along the way. So I'm not an authority on dance tech riders. But I would say again, I would include that. I would give a nod to that in in the tech writer that you submit to the conference, but don't. It's not necessary to have, to show separate tech writers for it. But I think no, I think it's a good bit of information. I mean, you might want to in instead of including that on the tech writer, maybe include that on the description of the group, somewhere else in the application, to because you do want that information you want people to have that information because it sounds like an important element. So I don't know. Does that answer the question, or am I close?
Caitlin's still, yes, you got it.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Heather.
Good.
Hello.
Hi,
Um,
Heather. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Craig.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. He's a great showcase room producer too. Um, so usually for the showcases, like the showcase room producers want that, yeah, specific to your showcase. And I guess the showcase, that's what I've provided also for jury showcase applications. But I'm considering now from this conversation, maybe provide my showcase tech writer and then include after that my complete tech writer so they get
Mhm.
an idea, because usually showcase room producers are like, simplify, you don't need that. um so so do you think that would be an effective way, and maybe a statement saying I can do the a full performing arts center show all the way down to like a community, yeah, a
Yeah. Yeah.
retirement home room.
Sure. I think
Okay.
definitely, yeah, include that. I would, again,
All right.
a simplified setup for a showcase situation, but do include it because you might have somebody say,
Okay.
you never know, you might be surprised, and they'll say, no, actually, we could do that. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, because
Or
sometimes for solo theater, some places think, oh, that's too small for our venue. But like, I've played 3,000 seats and I've played 30 seats. So,
yeah.
So to that too, my showcase video really is from, because it's theatrical, it is from one performance. But I'm wondering if, well, it's hard in 3 minutes, but to
Yeah.
show a little, maybe a few images of different setups, would that be
Mm.
useful? But that would probably be near the end, and they might not ever get to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, in your situation, I think that could, yeah, that could be effective if it's a way to just show, a a couple of different looks and so that people can get an idea. I think that would be okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah, as long as it's not, real heavy on it. As long as it's not,
No, it would just be
yeah,
like, because I would,
a little bit of live acting and then all these great pictures. So,
yeah, maybe just a few, like it would, like three, like just to
yeah.
show a little bit of variety. But yeah, I'll think on that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Oh wait, here I have a quick a clarification for Nikki. Nikki, I would say singers are musicians too. So-
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. Just came up as a singer, and people would say, "Are you a singer or a musician?"
Right.
And I'd say both.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So I digress. But anyway,
Wonderful.
Mr.
uh,
Mojo, what's your question?
you're
Oh,
muted. Come on, unmute.
There we
Is
go.
that-
Having trouble.
yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about
You're old.
that. Yeah, that's making the rounds now. The thing I wanted to add was about showcase production for dance groups.
Hmm.
It's a really complex problem and challenge to produce a dance act in a showcase. And the critical elements that you need in your rider, the most important thing is the footprint you need to perform in.
Yeah.
Really critical. And the surface you need to perform on. In particular, if you have to bring your own surface, you have to let people know that's coming. The next thing is, how are you reinforcing the dance with sound? Are you using tracks? Are you using a live band? All of that has to be specified. We produced showcases with dancers for a quarter of a century already, and it's always the same thing. You need that footprint, you need the surface you need to dance on. You also need to know entrance and egress requirements, stage left, stage right, whether you've got to move in and out of the room, whether you've got costume changes. It's pretty complex. So I encourage you, for all of these, listen to Craig. That's the first thing, because Craig knows his stuff. And he is really valuable and valid. Um, I suggest to everyone, when you're showcasing, be it juried, be it independent, whatever, have at least two tech riders. One for your performance in a real theater.
Yeah.
And second, a distilled essential tech rider. The basics that you absolutely need to perform successfully. And if you have something unique, expect to have to bring it. It won't be there. Or it's a very great expense. And be flexible. That's the key. Thank you for letting me talk for a minute, even though I'm old.
Oh, I love
well,
to hear you talk.
you found the unmute, so you get. And just to add to, on top of dance, lucky for OAPN, not only do we have Maggie Carlson from Ohio Contemporary Ballet on our board. I've learned a lot about the dance world from her. Also, Erin Cameron Miller is our board president. She's produced a lot of dance productions at Payne Park and Stocker Arts Center. So we're well equipped. We try to put all the language in our submission information, that we'll have Marley board, Marley floor. But we note that which venues, might not have wings, or how we might go around having, wings for dancers. But we'll be very specific in what our stage offers for the showcase. That doesn't mean that a dancer shouldn't submit to showcase. They absolutely should and could, but our production crew would work with that dance organization to make sure that that they feel comfortable performing at that space. Because of course you want to still be able to put on your best showcase possible. But Craig, what else
Yeah.
you got?
Oh, I don't know. I would say, Mojo, I had those exactly what you said in my notes, and I didn't say them. So thank you so much for bringing that up and for jumping in and catching me on what I missed. So, yeah, I'm going to do just a quick swing through my notes because I wrote them. Let's see. Oh, one quick thing I'll add is I have a little bit different arrangement in terms of putting the showcase applications with Ed Smith and the Doreen Harvey Band, because they are self-represented in Canada, and so they do their own showcase submissions up in Canada that I'm not involved with. So with them, they actually they put together their submissions on I Want to Showcase, and then I'll go in and onto their account and look at what they've put together because they're very good at it, and then I will. Um, maybe make my suggestions for edits or for including more and that sort of thing. But that's um, it's a collaborative effort as opposed to me just doing it. So I would say that it works very well for us. So again, how many people? Oh, I can't. Well, a lot of people don't have video, but how many people are self-represented uh, of the people that I can see? Okay, and then other folks are hi Natalie. Other folks are represented by artist managers. Is that any folks? So a majority of the people are self-represented. Will be doing all of this themselves, correct? So, okay, good. Well, that's good to know. And again, I would strongly suggest getting, if at all possible, get outside input, get another set of eyes on things. Because that can be very helpful. Even editing. I I don't know if AI is your friend. I have maybe that's going to come into play more and more, but I'm still old school. But anyway, so that could be a useful tool. So, but I think that pretty much one other thing. Some submissions ask for audio, and it's optional. And so again, this is for musical groups. I mean, it could work for theater artists as well, but so again, if you're given the option to upload audio, definitely do it because if it's there, people will listen to it, and it is possible to give a different impression with audio. So again, every opportunity you have to give more materials to look at or whatever, take that opportunity. Every possible bit of information and materials is can strengthen an application. So
This is great, Craig. And not to put you on the spot, but Ed, since I have you here too, we were
Sure.
we were discussing another Tuesday talks for
Oh,
if
yeah.
you are selected to showcase, how do you actually put on a good showcase in your sometimes 12, sometimes 15-minute
Yeah.
slot? It's a huge thing to fathom for an artist putting on a 90 plus minute set. How do you showcase everything that you do in that short time frame? And we're hoping that possibly Ed and Darina might want to come on and do their own
Oh.
webinar in maybe March.
Well, in March we'll be on the road in your neck of the woods in March, thanks to Craig. Thanks to Craig's successful efforts. So March might not work, but maybe another
Maybe.
time. I'm
All
sure we
right. Well,
would.
then we'll be in touch, Ed. I know how to find you now.
Yeah,
So
you
Yeah.
do. You do. And I have to say, there was one quote from the host at one of I forget which showcase it was, but Darina and their band, they did their showcase, and the comment right after it was, I want everybody that they said that was the perfect showcase. If there was ever a master class in showcasing, this was it. And so,
that was Janet Herman Barlow at Arts Market, North Carolina, and I was sitting right next to her when she made that
ah,
comment. So,
Wow, that's a huge compliment.
yeah.
yes,
Yeah, thanks, Janet.
yeah. In fact,
Yeah, I mean, like if I was to distill it down into to a quick sentence or two, um, And again, we're a band, so I don't know. I can't speak to theater and dance companies, but what I've seen a lot of musical acts do that doesn't necessarily work is they get up and play in their entirety 2 songs or something
Yeah.
that have about 12 minutes, and it's what we found is it's better to try and fit more of a variety of material. You know, if you have a song, Dorina has a couple moments in our show where she does a song by herself, just her guitar. We have other moments with, you know, obviously the full band. We have moments instrumental where there's no singing, and we try to incorporate all of that into this sort of montage without being cheesy. We try to work basically find these if you want to get across about, you know, 3-4 songs, you take excerpts from each one and try to stitch them together. You know, use your musical craft to do that and find the essential part of each song that communicates, like, what is this about and why are we, you know, we'd always ask if we're going to show something, like we'd ask why. Okay, we're going to do the Northern Lights of Labrador. And then we'd literally say, why are we doing that? Like, so what? Okay, we're doing it because it showcases this. So we would sort of challenge ourselves challenge ourselves to find those excerpts of a song that communicate what that song is, and then kind of get out of it, because it's like watching the video, right? People will get, I mean, you want to be, you know, considered as an artist in the full breadth of the song that you're performing, but you also have to realize you have 12 minutes and you're trying to show them 5 different things, and playing a song that's 5 minutes long is probably not in its entirety, is probably not in your best interest. So anyway,
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And
ramble.
yeah, well, you're very good at putting the showcases together, I have to say. Um, and just to sort of dovetail on that, the artists know what um, what things have the most impact on audiences, and they from direct experience, obviously. So, you know, quick story, when I first started representing the Doreen Harvey Band, and we had a showcase at their first showcase was at Western Arts Alliance, the jury showcase. Um, and they said, you know, Doreen said, we're going to start with this. And it was just her solo doing this the Northern Lights of Labrador, this beautiful song. And I kind of strongly advised against it. I said, no, that, you know, sort of there's this standard formula. You want to come on strong and grab people. Then you want to do the middle part that is, you know, that will, um, you know, where you can bring it down and then, you know, finish strong again. I said, that's sort of the standard map. And Dorina was, you know, said, uh-huh, yeah, no. And then she said, but no, trust me. And I was, okay. And, you know, and in that case, she understood the impact that song had. And even though it was just her solo, and, and very more subdued, she understood the impact of that, and it worked wonderfully. So, you know, so definitely trust your assessment of, you know, what's good for you, and maybe the standard formula is you can kind of stretch it in your situation. And for anybody who's an artist representative, or, you know, just, you know, trust your artist, have the conversation, but also trust the artist.
Perfect. We are coming down to the end, but Mr. Mojo, you have one last thing to say?
No, you gotta push the mute. Uh,
Sorry about that.
it's all right.
Screen is not responding. I wanted to just follow up with what Craig said. There's a term that I use for exactly what he described. That's called the sandwich technique. You want to hit them hard,
Yeah.
want to melt their hearts, and then you want to hit them hard.
Uh-huh.
I always recommend you do it in 3 pieces or 5 pieces, segments, let's say. And what the presenters are looking for is the experience you will give to their audiences. For example, I don't just just produce showcases, I perform in them as well to sell my show. We just did APAP, and let me give you 3 comments that I got the next day. The first was from a Grammy winner who said to me, I have not danced in 20 years and you got me on my feet dancing. Okay. So there was the hit hard. Another seasoned agent came up to me and he said, you made me cry. I was thinking of my mama. Thank you. You made me cry. And the other review was, when I left, I remembered why I wanted to see your showcase because I always leave happy. Okay, so there you got 3 different emotions that move the audience. That's what I encourage every artist to do in a showcase. Show them how you can move that audience and give them an experience like no one else.
Love
And
it.
I'll add just a quick comment is that the best showcase experience I ever had personally was when I got to play saxophone with Mojo at APAP a number of years ago. And you know, we didn't get any bookings out of it. No one hired, but it was awesome.
I love it. Oh, wow. This is just has been such an incredible Tuesday Talks. Craig, thank you so much. Ed, thank you
My
for hopping
pleasure.
on, taking the time. Thanks everybody for your comments and questions. This will be recorded and put on our YouTube channel. And again, we put this in the chat, but OAPN's I Want to Showcase platform opens March 1st. All the information is on our website at oapn.org. So be on the lookout. We'll post it to social. It'll go to your inboxes as well. But join us next week. Nikki D from the Sisters of Thunder, she is going to join us for a Tuesday Talks with Mikey from Apostle Jones. They were 2 showcasing artists in 24, and it's going to just talk to you about whether or not you should consider attending the conference. Let you know what it's all about. Craig, thank you so
Oh,
much.
well, thank you for letting me blab. And yeah, I really appreciate it, the opportunity. And yeah, thank you. And thank you for your great work, Jessica, with the conference and you know, I speak very highly of your conference and yeah, so thank you.
Oh, that's great to hear. That means a lot. And also, in case anybody, Craig, if you are attending our conference, we have our closing night party. Craig is a phenomenal singer for our end of closing party karaoke. So, not to put you on the spot, Craig, but everybody get
No,
ready.
no, I'm always ready to sing into
I love it.
that.
Too much talent on this call. All right, everybody. Well, again, Craig, thank you so much.
Great.
Everybody, thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us today.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.